Hey, I'm here with lab number 4, and I'm going to start by unpackaging my package, and then I will be right back. So, my step 1 says to grab my well plate, and then I'm going to draw an X on my piece of paper here. There's a picture, so I'm just going to draw an X with my Sharpie, and then place my well plate over that X. Now I'm going to take my distilled water and pour it into my distilled water dispenser. Now that I have gotten my distilled water into my bottle, it says I'm going to take my well plate and I'm going to do 6 drops of distilled water in C2, which is ABC, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it says to do it also in D2. So A, B, C, D, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm now going to go in with my distilled water and do 8 drops now in C3 and D3. So C3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And D3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've now got my hydrochloric acid, HCl, and I'm going to go into well plate C1 and D1 with 12 drops of hydrochloric acid. So C1 with 12, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then also D1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now the other drops of the HCl in C2 and D2 and C3 and D3 I'm going to do off camera. I'm now going to go in with my sodium thiosulfate, probably pronouncing that wrong. But I'm now going to put 8 droplets in A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, and B3. I'm going to do a few on camera and then a few off camera. I'm going to start off with A1, and that's 8 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then A2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to do the rest off camera. So I'm now going to get one of my pipettes and label it the sodium thiosulfate. Now that I have got my pipette labeled, you can barely see it, but it is there. It said to slide over my well plate to my X to where it was on C1. And then it says to slightly pick up the well plate. And it says in row A and B that contain the NaC or Na2S2O3 puddled together along the bottom rim, suck all the concentrate of one of these wells into the Na2S2O3. I'm going to do this off camera. Now that I have gotten my solution into here, I'm going to 0 the timer that I'm holding. I'm going to hold it in this hand. I have a phone timer, and I'm going to drip it into my C2 that has the X over it. And I'm going to start my timer now, and I'm going to stop it whenever the X is covered up. So after all said and done, I got 33.05 seconds. I'm now going to enter that into my data. So I'm now basically going to repeat my last few steps. I'm going to tip my well plate and suck it. I'm going to do A2. And then it says to put it into D1. So I'm now going to put it in D1 and put it over my X and squirt it in there. And then I will be back with the time. So I actually take my statement back about last time. I figured out that this phone was already playing before I had started it. So it was actually 26.05 and this reaction was 20.71. So now I'm going to repeat those steps all over again for well plate C2 and D2, and then for well plate C3 and D3. I'm going to do those all off camera. So I wanted to come back and say that for my C2, I got 36.16, and now I'm going to D2, and I'll be back. I'm coming back with an update that on D2, I got 28.56 seconds, and I'm now heading to C3 and D3. So for my C3 reaction, I got 42.19 seconds. Now I'm heading to do my D3 reaction. For my D3 reaction, I got 37.19 seconds. I'm now going to start by showing my final situation here, and you can't even see the X. There she is. But I'm now going to work out with the solution here for my data here. I'm going to work out the average reaction time. So I'm going to do all that off camera, and then I'm going to come back for the second part of this experiment. So I am back from my part 1 experiment. I have everything back on, and I filled out the worksheet, and now I'm on to part 2 of this experiment. So again, it says to start off with the distilled water and the same piece of paper with the X on it. So first off, I'm going to take my distilled water, and it says here to do 6 drops of distilled water in C5 and D5. So C5 is right here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6, right? Yep. 5, 6, and then to go over to D6, yes, D5, and then do 6 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it says to go down to C6 and D6 and do 8 drops. I'm going to do this off camera. So this one's kind of a long haul, so I'm going to only do a little bit of it on camera and do the rest off camera. I'm going to take my sodium thiosulfate, I know I'm botching the name, and we're going to add 12 drops of this to C4 and D4. So C4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm also going to add it to D4 as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to do the rest of the sodium thiosulfide off camera. So I'm going to do some of this on camera and then off camera because it takes me a while because I'm a little slow. But I'm going to get the hydrochloric acid, and I'm going to put, let's see, 8 drops of the hydrochloric acid into A4, A5, A6, B4, and B6, and B5 and B6. So I'm going to do 2 on camera and then the rest off camera. So first off, I'm going to do A4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then A5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to do the rest off camera. So I've gone on ahead and done all of that, and I've gotten my pipette and I've labeled it HCl. And so now that I've gotten this well plate, it says to kind of shake it to make sure that it covers the entire bottom. So I'm going to do one on camera and then the rest off camera, but I have my HCl, and it says to take my pipette, and I have my stopwatch right here by me. I'm going to dip it in, take it out, tilt it at an angle so you can get as much as you can, and I'm going to put it here on my X label. For my C4, I got 18.67 seconds. Now I'm on to D4. For my D4, I got 23.46. And look at how nasty that is. So C5 was actually my longest one reaction so far, with 49.44. Now I'm on to D5. Now take that back, I have done D5 and it is officially my longest time. It was 54.94, and these are the colors that it's giving so far. I'm gonna have to stop saying that these are my longest because this one was my longest. C6 was. It came in at 1 minute, 31 seconds, and 95.95. So my final one, which was D6, it got up to 1:43 seconds, 0.38. So this will conclude my lab because I've read up and all the rest of it is just working on like math, basically more math. But I wanted to show the after of my experiment and how you can't see the X. But after waiting some time, you can kind of see it on some of them. Thanks for watching.